5 financial mistakes to avoid in your 20s. Imagine this. You're in your early 30s, finally moving into your dream home, not a dollar of debt hanging over you, no stress about bills, and plenty in your bank account to live life on your own terms. Sounds amazing, right? But here's the truth. That reality starts right now, with the choices you make in your 20s. Now, if you're thinking, I'm young, I'll figure it out later, pause right there, because this video could be the difference between living that dream or feeling trapped in financial stress 10 years from now. Stick around because today, we're diving into 5 critical financial mistakes to avoid at all costs in your 20s if you want to set yourself up for long-term wealth. Awareness. Mistake number 1, living beyond your means. Let's kick it off with the first and maybe most tempting mistake. Living beyond your means. We all know that feeling. Payday comes, and there's this little voice whispering, treat yourself. Suddenly, that cash goes towards things we don't need, whether it's dinners out, designer clothes, or the latest tech gadget. Here's the thing. Living beyond your means might make today look good on Instagram, but it's building tomorrow's financial trap. Sure, that night out, that luxury brand, those things are fun, but you'll blink, and a few years later, you might be knee-deep in debt without any real savings. Imagine this. You're 29 and a friend asks you to join a group vacation to Europe. You desperately want to say yes, but you can't. Because that credit card debt you've been ignoring has snowballed into a mountain. Not the reality you want, right? So here's the challenge. Start by budgeting now, understanding where every dollar goes. Because the only thing that's cooler than a $100 outfit is a $100,000 portfolio. Speaking of fashion, did you know even Steve Jobs only wore one type of outfit? But hey, I'm not saying you need to go full black turtleneck. Just be mindful of what your spending says about your future. Decision. Mistake number 2, ignoring investments. Now that we're talking about saving money, let's talk about growing it. Ignoring investments. If you've ever thought, investing, that's for rich people, I'm here to tell you, that's exactly what rich people want you to think. You don't need to be wealthy to invest. In fact, you need to invest to become wealthy. Imagine planting a seed and watching it grow over time. That's what investing does. You plant a few dollars today, and with time, it multiplies. But every year you wait to invest, you're leaving thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. Here's a scary fact. If you invest just $100 a month starting in your 20s, that could grow into a 7-figure portfolio by retirement. But if you wait until your 30s, you'd need to save double each month to achieve the same result. Stay tuned, because mistake number 3 can cost you even more if you don't address it early. And it's a trap many of us fall into without even realizing it. Mistake number 3, relying on credit cards and loans. Next up is the third financial pitfall, relying on credit cards and loans. Now, credit cards can seem like a lifeline, especially when money feels tight, but they're actually a double-edged sword. It's easy to swipe that card, take on a little debt here and there, and before you know it, you're paying more in interest than the actual cost of what you bought. Here's an eye-opener. Did you know if you only pay the minimum on a $5,000 credit card balance at a 20% interest rate, it'll take over 17 years to pay off? You'll end up paying almost double the original amount in interest alone. So what's the fix? Start using credit cards wisely. Only buy what you can afford to pay off each month. Or better yet, keep a strict limit on credit spending altogether. If your credit card debt could talk, it'd probably be saying, pay me. But let's not let that happen, right? You're in control, not your credit card company. Change. Mistake? 4. Not having an emergency fund. 5:30 to 7. All right. Mistake number 4. Not having an emergency fund. Let's paint a picture. You're cruising along, and then, boom, car breakdown, medical emergency, job loss. These things happen, and they don't exactly send a save the date beforehand. An emergency fund is like a financial cushion that helps you land softly instead of crashing. Experts recommend having at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved. Think of it as insurance against the unexpected, and trust me, unexpected is guaranteed to show up sooner or later. Wondering how to get started on an emergency fund? Well, we're about to tackle a money mistake that might be costing you more than you realize. And once you cut it, you'll have more room for savings than ever. Mistake number 5, neglecting financial education, 7 to 8:30. And now we come to the final mistake, and honestly, the one that fuels all the others, neglecting financial education. In school, we learn about the Pythagorean theorem, but no one tells us how to budget, invest, or build credit. If you're not actively learning about money, you're missing out on knowledge that could change your life. Reading a book on personal finance, listening to a podcast, even watching this video, you're already on the right path. Knowledge is power, especially in the financial world, because without it, you're just following someone else's blueprint, and that someone might not have your best interest at heart. Pattern interrupt. Let's be real. Calculating the hypotenuse of a triangle hasn't helped anyone avoid bankruptcy. Conclusion. Call to action, 8:30 to 10. Now here's the truth. Avoiding these mistakes isn't always easy. You'll be tempted to spend, to put off saving, to rely on debt. But here's the powerful part. You have a choice. You can choose to take control of your money, starting today. Your 20s are a gift, a golden opportunity to set the foundation for a life of freedom, security, and yes, wealth. Imagine looking back years from now, knowing you made the tough, smart choices when it mattered most. So here's your next step. Start small. Pick one mistake from this list and focus on avoiding it. Whether it's budgeting, investing, or educating yourself, every little decision builds towards that vision of wealth you want.